but it just sees whether which team is able to utilize the playstyle difference and get the team the victory.
Yep, so one side we have the jungle, and then the other, I believe, team fights.
Indeed. So, I mean, in the end, it still be a team fight, right? Because when you look at Temasek Polytechnic in general, the top laner Suzuki, he plays a lot of these tank champions that don't really do the side lane pressure, but it's more of being able to join a team for a team fight. He plays champions like Shen, he plays Volibear, he plays the Udyr, who doesn't really play in the top lane, but he actually uses it in the top lane very well. So I'm looking to see whether he has any surprise picks for us for this champion select. However, on NTU, I don't really have much information about the players, but I do know they are also very team fight centric as well. But I want to see how these teams are able to play. So while we wait for pick and bans to start, I'm just curious to know what are your thoughts, Temasek Polytechnic or NTU?
You know, going into this pick and ban, I really think that NTU should be able to continue their legacy.
So Temasek Polytechnic now, they are on blue side. So this is very important, right? Because we never really talked about how teams being on which side matters, because the first game, it was one-sided by NYP. SUTD and NUS, I would have preferred NUS to be on the blue side, but they didn't get the blue side, right? So they got the red side, and we saw how Ezreal, being a so important pick, was actually taken away from NUS, and that kind of caused the snowball to happen, which is through the bomb side. So I'm looking to see whether TP and NTU prioritize the Ezreal game, but it seems like they're going to ban out the Rumble first, followed by the Kassadin.
Ooh, a Kassadin ban. Could be, you don't usually see that nowadays in the meta, but could be a target ban, you know?
I mean, Kassadin right now, not say it's a very strong champion, but it can scale to the level 16, and when it hits the level 16 mark, it goes very well in side lanes. And there's not much champions that actually goes well against Kassadin once you reach the level 16 mark. Probably can think of is champions like Vladimir is probably the only option you can think of. So Kassadin level 16, especially with the buffs to Frozen Heart and other items that allows him to build defensive but still do a lot of damage, it just gives him way more options in terms of how to itemize. But TP, they are banning out the Lee Sin. It is probably to prevent the flex of Lee Sin. I don't think in NTU in general they have the triple flex of the Lee Sin.
And then you look at NTU now banning out the Leona. I don't think they may look for an Alistar, you know, to be picked. So I guess banning out the support for NTU, they don't want to deal with the Leona Solar Flare. What do you think TP can, you know, bring out?
I think they're probably gonna look for another jungle ban. It is the Diana, as I predicted, that NTU, their junglers is the position where they want to focus on. So they're banning out the Hecarim will be the final ban. So 4 jungle bans in the first ban phase. So I do think they have to pick the jungle early game. It's not early pick phase, because if they don't pick it, it will be pinched even further. Nocturne again, hovered by TP.
No, I just now saw Samira pick back. Samira hover, you know, it's a possibility against Samira. You know, they did Riot did a summary of who had the most pentakills, and then Samira was up there, and they lock in the Samira.
Yeah, so for Samira, right, is Temasek Polytechnic's AD carry special. He is very in favor of Samira. I remember when I was screaming against Temasek Polytechnic in general that they don't really play other AD carries except for the Samira, that we had to ban out the Samira, right? And NTU, however, they are prioritizing the Ezreal. This is what we expected, because hold up, they actually locked in the Xin Zhao instead.
Yeah, Xin Zhao, I believe he's one of the strongest. He's one of the strong junglers out there with that gap closing ability, and he's out to just push everyone away in a team fight.
Yes, but Xin Zhao, I would consider him more of like a cheese jungler, right? Because he doesn't clear as fast as most junglers, but he has the gank potential way better than most junglers as of now. So it depends on how smart can NTU play the Xin Zhao. Can he get those ganks unaware of by TP? And if TP don't walk the flanks properly, Xin Zhao is able to get the lead, and that will kind of snowball the game, because Xin Zhao is such a strong duelist early game.
So we may expect some cheeses coming out from the start of Xin Zhao. So what do you think TP will lock in? And they lock in the Nocturne.
Yes, the Nocturne. Again, a priority pick for Temasek Polytechnic. They did use this Nocturne pick last week against SUTD, and they got the win over SUTD. So Hard EC will probably be one piloting this Nocturne, but it might be flexed into the top or even the mid lane. We don't know yet. NTU, however, they do lock in the Ezreal in the AD, as the AD carry. Again, the strong priority for Ezreal in the current patch. And now TP taking away the Karma, preventing the Ezreal Karma bottom lane.
Yeah, so now you have a Samira Karma bottom lane. What do you think about that?
I would think that this bottom lane has a very strong pressure in the early game. However, I don't think there is the synergy that you want from this Samira and Karma. But the Karma definitely can keep the Samira alive with the extra shields that she provides for this Samira. And NTU now locking in the Orianna, blinding in the Orianna. So I think that now NTU, they want to pinch out the mid laner.
Especially when you blind pick the Orianna, it now makes it a bit harder for the... You need to ban out certain champions that counters Orianna.
Yes, and now instead of banning out the mid laner, NTU is looking to ban out Suzuki in the top side. The Shen ban coming in. We might probably see even the Udyr or the Volibear ban coming out from NTU. So NTU is more worried of Suzuki being able to put the pressure on the top side rather more than banning out champions that is able to just win Orianna in lane.
Yeah, and because they don't have a support yet for the start of NTU, Temasek just goes out and bans Lulu.
Yes, but do you actually ban Lulu again with... And because I don't see how Lulu is actually paired with Ezreal. I'm more looking at things like maybe even the Senna, right? Because last game we saw how SUTD used the Senna Ezreal bottom lane. So I do expect them to probably utilize that Senna ban instead of the Lulu, because I don't see how Lulu synergizes very well with the Ezreal. But instead, TP, the final ban will be the Wukong, and NTU, they will finally ban the LeBlanc, which is relatively a very strong laner against the Orianna.
But, you know, TP, they have the Nocturne, so they could flex it to mid against the Orianna.
Yes, and now you mentioned about the Alistar. He is locked in as the support for NTU. Very good prediction there coming in from you.
I don't really know, because, you know, melee supports, they have that engage, and now I believe Hextech Flash is now allowed. So the Alistar will come in really handy.
Yeah, but we think about the NTU bottom lane now. You see the Ezreal, you see the Alistar against a Karma Samira. I don't think this is a favorable matchup for NTU at all, because the Karma and Samira will just run you down in lane. And TP locks in the set. I do believe Suzuki will be the one piloting the set, and the Victor hover for the final pick in the mid lane.
It's hovering the Silas though.
I love this Silas hover, because if they do lock it in, they have the Alistar ulti. It is the best, one of the best ultimates to take if you are TP right now.
Yeah, and you also have the Orianna out to take as well. So you go in and then you kill everyone, and then instead they lock in the Victor.
That's unfortunate. I definitely want to see the Silas there, because
Yeah.
taking the Alistar ultimate gives you the damage reduction, and you're just able to stay in the backline and just do a lot of damage without losing as much health as you used to without the Alistar ultimate. So I definitely want to see the Silas pick. However, Victor, a very good mid lane counter to the Orianna. I think it's a very skill matchup, because whoever is able to really utilize the lane manipulation as well as the wave management will give you the lead in the mid lane. And finally, we see the Volibear locked in for the start of NTU. So I do think the Volibear will be going to the top side against the set. And Volibear in general kind of wins set around the mid game probably, but early game it is set favorite.
You know, both of these champs can just jump into the backline, but I think Seth will be more of a trouble in the backline with his out.
Indeed, and when you look at how both comps are looking at right now, you see NTU, they have the Volibear, they have the Alistar, they have the Xin Zhao and the Orianna. So it's a very dive heavy comp. And on TP side as well, they have the Nocturne, they have the Set, they even have Samira and Karma. Again, another dive heavy comp. So these two are really looking to duke it out. And also from draft, I think both teams are relatively even.
Yep. Now, you talk about both of them being dive, so we may want to keep our eyes on the supports on who can get that river control first before the other team comes, you know.
Yes, and when you look at how both teams drafted, I do think the river priority will definitely go over to the side of Temasek Polytechnic, because Karma Samira, stronger early game. If you think of Set, stronger early game than Volibear, so they have the early game pressure. Although mid lane is a skill matchup, I think it's slightly favored to the Orianna probably, because if the Orianna gets the good wave clear, he's able to get the shove in first, and that will allow him to move first from the mid lane. But if the Victor is able to just trade out with the Orianna early game, he's able to get the power from the mid lane. I think the early game scuttles will determine how the game or the pace will go.
You know, those early game scuttles, you know, who knows? Maybe they even be a double scuttle in that very first scuttle spawn.
Yes, and when you see how NTU as well and TP, this is NTU's first game of the week, of the tournament as well probably, because last week they didn't play because there have 7 teams in the group. So I want to see how NTU really brings up a strategy to be able to beat down Temasek Polytechnic in this game. But Temasek Polytechnic, I want to see how they are able to utilize their momentum from week 1, bring it to week 2, get the 2-0, and stay up with momentum with NYP for the first spot.
Yep. They need this win, and then they keep their spot with NYP, and they go out to the knockout stage.
Indeed. So, looking at the team comp, however, I just want to highlight something which is the Alistar and the Ezreal versus the Samira and the Karma. I kind of mentioned it a little bit in the game, but in the Champions Select, but I don't really go in depth into it. But I don't like how Alistar is being picked into this game because I just feel that Alistar doesn't provide much in the laning phase, and even in team fight, there could have been better picks such as the Nautilus, because Nautilus have the lock-in CC to just pin down the Samira. However, for Alistar, if you miss the double Q, that's probably the end, right? Because if you don't combo it perfectly, then Samira will just run rampant in your backline with the Nocturne as well as the set, and that's not what you want to do as the support.
Yeah, especially when Nautilus, he's a very good support now. If you're daring enough, you can even flex him into the jungle. But you see him as a support, he has that near impossible to miss hook, and he has that ult that just knocks up everyone as well.
Indeed. So I was a bit curious why NTU chose for the Alistar instead of the Nautilus, but it might be a comfort pick for the support of NTU. We don't know yet. So I'm very excited to see how the bottom lane will work, because I kind of highlight that this is the focal point of the game, the bottom lane now, which will be between the Ezreal, Alistar versus the Karma and Samira. So I want to see how NTU is able to pilot these two champs, and whether they are able to get any sort of even lane or probably even a lead by themselves, because when you think of Karma Samira, it's just definitely push, push, push. But if the Ezreal and Alistar manage to get some good picks, right, with the jungle help, that'll definitely change the tide of the bottom lane, and it will be favor of NTU.
And then, you talk about piloting, it sounds like you're piloting a mecha in the bottom lane as well. Two pilots, bottom lane. You need the Alistar to be the one going in, but if he misses, like you said, the WQ combo, you're basically a goner there.
Yes, and in general, as a lane going against an Enchanter support, the option is to go all in. Because if you don't go all in, the Enchanter as well as the ADK will just poke you down. And the more you get poked, the more difficult it is to go all in. And if you don't go all in, you're just going to get choked out in lane. So, NTU really is on them to really look to where to engage. But TP definitely have the better draft in terms of the bottom side. But I do think NTU's top side is way better, because Volibear Xin Cao versus Set Nocturne. How easy it is just lock in on someone with a stun, the rest will be running on you down.
Yeah, Volibear just runs you down, and then he just mauls and then stuns you. What do you do after that?
Yeah, there's no counter to it. Maybe if you can time your sets E with the Volibear's Q animation, you don't get stunned by the Volibear.
That's pretty hard to land if you ask me.
That's really very to the micro details, right? So I don't think it is favored for top side to probably win the 2v2. But if it's a 1v1, I definitely still favor the set. Just that I think it's easier to execute top side more with NTU's team comp rather than the bottom side, the top side with TP's team comp.
So the things to look for is the top side for TP and the bottom side for NTU. These two should be interesting to be watching.
Yes, correct, because it is on whether NTU's bottom side is able to get the lead, and it's whether to see whether TP's top side is able to survive the onslaught that's coming in from the top side of NTU. So while we wait for Champion Select, to go through, I just want to highlight that if TP loses this, they are now even with SUTD and NUS. And since TP kind of won SUTD already, right? So the only closest competitor will be then NUS, and that will be later on in the week, later on in the competition. So I'm very excited to see how NUS actually prepares for the TP matchup.
Yep, and with that, we'll head on to the Rift, the Temasek Poly against NTU. I believe this is our final match of the day.
Indeed. So Murdoch will not be playing this week because there's only seven teams in the group, so only 3 games a week for Group B.
So, what do you think the jungles will be pathing, since you see them like both starting near the top side?
I think both of them will be pathing from the bottom to top, because in general you just want to be able to help this top lane of TP versus NTU, the set and the Volibear. This matchup is very volatile, because as a Volibear player as well as a set player, I've experienced both sides of the matchup before. I think that in general, if one champion has the lead, it is very difficult to come back, because the one champion just snowballs off the lead, and especially getting the Bramble Vest early would just deny so much damage and output and healing from both the Volibear as well as the set.
Yeah, Volibear, the heal that he has with his, I believe, the Q ability, it it sort of makes you feel that, as the set, you want to go for that Bramble Vest early.
Mm. I believe the healing actually comes from the W instead of the Q. The Q is the point and click stun, right? You just have to aim at the champion you're running to, just press the Q and then you're stunning the champion. So it's kind of like a very simple stun to execute, and it allows the Xin Zhao to kind of just go on to the enemy carry after stunning him. So NTU's team comp is generally very easy to execute, but I still prefer TP in the late game.
Yeah, and then now you look at it, it seems like TP really wants to help their top laner, when their jungler is starting bottom and they're puffing to top. While NTU's jungler is puffing towards the bottom side, helping their Azriel and Alistar combo, something that you don't usually see.
I think that this is actually very smart from NTU because we kind of talked about it in the Champions Leg. Hold on, however, there is a big turret at top,
Yeah,
but
some
Suzuki just
turret.
running away.
Look at the amount of minions there are for the side of the blue. It really seems that if you get that solo queue, you deny that much CS.
And NTU bottom lane, however, they are the one pushing in. So NTU here reading the lane state very well because they know that if they were to be leashing for the jungle in the blue side, first, they won't be able to get the pressure into the bottom side, and that will mean that they will be getting shoved in. So they want to be the one shoving in first so that they allow the jungle to actually play through their lane itself.
Yeah, and then you talk about the pokes. You look at the amount of damage Ezreal has done to that Karma already. Forced to use the healing pots already, but she still has the cookies.
Yes, and now Xin Zhao looking to
Ooh.
invade the bottom side jungle. He's only done 3 cans, however, so Nocturne is just enjoying his time, taking the Grom as well as the blue. I think he's not taking the Grom, he's just running straight to the scuttle.
Yeah, after that, I think he's just gonna go for a gank onto the top side.
Now Nocturne here looking to just get the top scuttle. Probably clear his Grom and then go for the reset. And Set having the half top lane, we talked about it just now as well. The Set will have the early game momentum in the top side, but the bottom lane is not working out to what I kind of predicted because Azure and Alistar just managed to get the early game shove in because they were there in lane first, hence denying the early game shove from the Samira as well as the Karma.
Yep, and now Xin Zhao may look for a gank. Look,
Hold
Karma may be
on.
caught out here. He goes for a ward placement, but they go in for the kill. Forced to use the flash here as Alistar goes in, takes the damage, and now that's first blood for the Alistar actually.
That was so well executed by NTU. The Alistar actually flashed for just, although he wasn't in range yet, he just flashed over just to get onto the Karma, and Samira now getting chunked a bit, and there is a pause. I believe it might be some technical difficulties coming in, probably from the Karma. I believe maybe it's a Karma, right? Because I think Karma's walking was very awkward, so I do think there's something wrong with the Karma, but we do have to wait until we get some information on what is the cause of the pause. But so far early game wise, I like how NTU is dealing with the early game because I expected NTU to fall down a bit more in the early game, but they are the one in position.
Yep. Now, we saw that the junglers will play such an important role. You control how your lanes go, and when you go to help that losing lane, it really shows that despite they have the poke, they go for the dive, they get that kill, but it goes onto your Alistar.
Indeed. And when we look at how NTU was playing, right, they didn't leash for the jungle. And because they didn't leash for the jungle, they came to lane first. And because they came to lane first, they had the prior in the lane, and they reached the level 2 first, way earlier than the TP AD carry bottom lane and support. So they were able to shove the AD carry and Karma in. That allows Xin Zhao to actually play the map through the bottom side because they have the prio, and that allows the first blood to happen. But on the other side, TP, I think it was kind of standard. I kind of predicted that TP wanted to play to the top side because Set has the advantage early game in the top side, and that was how NTU responded. They allowed Volibear to just take it safe, let the Set shove in so that they are able to play it slow from the top side. And from that kind of style of play, they got the lead at the bottom lane.
Yep. So once they have that lead in the bottom lane, what do you do after that as the losing side?
I think right now, Temasek Point Timing, I wouldn't consider them like the losing side yet because there's definitely ways to come back, and I think it's still too early in the game to ever call who's leading, who's winning. But as of now, I think that right now TP just needs to look to punish Alistar for burning his flash, but at the same time, since I'll look to punish Karma for burning her flash. So there's two ways to look at it. It's just which team is able to punish which side more, and if TP is able to punish NTU's Alistar for burning his flash to just get the first blood, that would mean that bottom lane will start to favor the TP side more, and it'll scale up the scaling of Samira even further.
The scaling of Samira is a dangerous thing to look for. It's one of the champions that you cannot fit early, or else it's just gonna stomp your entire game.
Yes, there's those moments, remember, when Samira just came out, all you think of is, can we just stop the R, please? The R is just too disgusting.
Yeah, it had zero cooldown, so you just proc that passive up, you get that out, you proc it again, you're just killing the entire enemy team.
Yes, and something to really look out for is definitely we talked about is how hard is he plays through his team, because we talk about how TP he's the leader of the, like so-called the leader of the team because he is the one always doing the work for the team and his team just backs him up. So I want to see how hard is he actually takes the ownership of this game, because if he's able to set up some good gangs for his team will be able to solidify back their position and then look for the lead and then look to win the game through the laning phase. However, if NTU and the new roster here, okay, I never really seen the roster before, but I do think so far what they're showing has been very good.
Yeah. And you see NTU against TP, I believe they were the ones to get the first blood. And then that allowed them, I believe, after that allows that weird Alistar Ezreal combo in the bottom lane to actually prosper.
Yeah, but I don't think that Alistar will actually stay the bottom lane too much, because in general, as Alistar, you want to be one roaming around the map. You want to be impacting maybe the top or even the mid, or maybe invade the jungle as well. So I do expect that Alistar, once he's get his first bag or maybe second bag, he'll start to look around the map even more, and from that make the plays at the other side of the map. And that will leave Ezreal actually safe farming at bottom lane, and I think I like that idea more from NTU. So I want to see whether NTU is able to pull off that, leave the Ezreal in the bottom side. And yes, alright. So we do have information on what is going on, which is one player actually picked Hex Flash, right? Because Hex Flash is right now banned, not say banned, but disabled because of certain bugs to the mastery, right? So one of the players actually picked Hex Flash, which was banned. So there will be a remake of the lobby, and I think that is just unfortunate, right? Because TP actually, NTU actually, I don't know which team picked the Hex Flash yet, but because of that, we will have to remake the lobby and we will have to start again. I think that is unfortunate, right? Because I think NTU came with a game plan, and I think it was just caught out by TP because of this Hex Flash bug.
Yeah, it could also be the Alistar. He flashed in, he get that kill, and maybe he had the Hex Flash.
And that definitely possible, because I don't think who else can get the Hex Flash, right? We look at the enemy side, probably for start of TP it's only probably the set.
Yeah.
But why would you take a Hex Flash in top lane against like Volibear when you should be taking like your Resolve tree instead, or even maybe you're gonna go very aggressive, you go for this Domination tree. So definitely I do think it's probably Alistar taking the Hex Flash. So it's unfortunate that he was the one making the play, that amazing dive at bottom lane that gave the kill over to NTU side. But right now we have to remake the lobby.
Yep, it's unfortunate, you because of a bug, you lose that first blood as well, I believe.
Indeed. So we're gonna have to rewatch again. I do believe that it will be the same champions again, so something to look forward again to. It's just that the pathing by NTU will probably be read by TP's jungler, and he will now be able to actually like instruct his team, okay, we should avoid this pathing level 1. We should just go for the early lane prior in level 1 to allow the lanes just automatically shoving himself. He might even do his own jungle clear by himself. So there is more options now for the TP jungler to play, because knowing how the early game jungler of Xin Zhao is pathing early game on previous game, it will allow him to actually make a more informed decision of how he want to path to the top side.
Yeah, but then that comes with a uncertainty that let's say you go off with the plan that he's going with that he's pathing down bot, then you also path down bot the same. But what if he already knows that you are pathing down bot, rewinding time, and then you instead he's pathing up to top side to impact there instead of countering your gank onto the bottom.
Yeah, that's where the 200 IQ plays comes in, right? Yeah, 200 IQ in this guy. He says, okay, you're gonna be bot, then I'll go top then. And then we're getting the set. And then if the set dies, it's another lead for outside. And in general, this is how League of Legends play, right? It's a game of inches, I would say, because it's like a chess. Every move you make just determines what you want to do as a player. And the more information you have, the more decisions you can choose to make. And it gives you more options to take away, and it denies the enemy more response. Because if you have information that the enemy is starting on the red buff and is looking to path top at 3 minute 15, as the top laner of the enemy team, you'll be like, okay, I have to just prevent. I have to just maintain the lane state at maybe around 2 minutes 30 seconds, and then maybe 45 seconds before the gank comes in, I'll have to
Back off.
back off and just relax and let the lane shove in. If the wave is too big, it means that the dive is possible. I have to thin the wave enough so that the dive won't happen. But if you don't have the decision that okay, the enemy is actually starting top side now, he might look for this cheese gang. We don't know, so it's very difficult to utilize or make decisions when you don't have the information to make decisions. So I think League of Legends, especially Vision, is so important to kind of start off this chess game, I would say, because every movement you make, every decision you do will affect how each pieces of the board moves along with you.
Yeah, it feels like the jungle is the pawn. With his resources, he can spread it across the map, and then it makes it feel like the mid laner is like the king or queen of the game. He controls what, he's the priority target of the opponent.
I wouldn't say that the jungle is the pawn. I'll think the supports is the pawn.
Ah.
Why? Because the supports are the one moving around the map the most, and after you reached like, let's say, maybe the first back, you're gonna start being around the map to put the vision wards. And when you look at the chess game, the pawns are the one with the most numbers. The other one going forward the most, giving you the vision, giving you what exactly is happening in the board. Okay, I mean you don't really see the pawns talking to each other like, oh, this is this, this is that, but the pawns are there to give you the numbers advantage, right? So it's always, when I think about it, it's always more like the support being the pawn. And I think that like the jungle is the queen. Because the jungle can move anywhere around the map, any distance, and he's expected to be, and you always expect the jungle to be there. And you can think of like the knight, the rook, as well as the bishop to be the remaining 3 players. And the king is just a nexus, right? Because the nexus don't really move. Yep. So really, League of Legends to me feels like a chess game, and that's why I kind of enjoy playing League, because okay, my mechanics isn't the best, 100%, right? My mechanics is probably like maybe 60%, 50% at best, but it tells you a lot about how you, as a player sitting at the back, you want how the game to be played. There's an optimal style. There's 100% play. Every move your enemy makes, you want to be able to counter it with another move you are willing to make with the decisions that you have. So getting the most important thing, right, I feel, is getting the decisions that goes to your favor.
Yeah, and then that comes with the risk taking. What are those decisions are not in your favor, but it wins you those fights. That allows your players to make those big plays. Those flash outs, the flash box. Who knows? Maybe your Orianna flashes in, throws the shockwave out, and you catch all 5 members in, and then your true shot brush just comes through.
But that's the ideal situation, right? Because when you think of chess, every piece does its role, right? Because a chess, maybe let's say like the pawn is like level 50, you expect a level 50 pawn to be able to match the level 50 pawn of the enemy team. So the difference between the chess and League of Legends is more of like each pieces in the board have a different level. So can this level 46 pawn of the enemy team beat this level 30 pawn in the enemy team? So there's a skill gap between each pieces, but that's what makes games within the community very interesting, because you can see whether this gap actually affects the game too much, or doesn't matter because the team in general has the better decisions because of how informed their decisions are. Whereas on side of like professional gaming, you think of most players are about the same level, so it's all about those informed decisions that they make that really utilize the game. And if but in professional gaming, you're thinking of like one level down might not be a big issue, right? But if the one level down piece is able to just get destroyed by, like, say, a level 100. Okay, let's call it Faker level 100. And you're going against a level 99 pawn. And if Fakers manage to damage this level 99 pawn, that's a big win for professional game, because it just deprives you of the resource this level 99 pawn is supposed to give you. So Campus Legends is all about how you are able to maybe downplay one of your weakness and use it to, and try to use one of your strength to actually help to overcome this weakness.
Yeah, with that being said, I feel that really it doesn't matter your skill, but in Campus Legends, if you feed that one guy too much, he just stomps the entire game. Like we saw in the past 2 games, the Ezreal and that Akali, both very scary.
Indeed.
One even getting a penta even.
Yeah, so when you think about the first game, the Akali, right? He, just playing for the lols. He's just going for the Moby boots by just to get the extra kills, extra movement speed around the map. He just wants to go all in. Just was a bit unfortunate we didn't get the Magi. I want to see how many stacks he could have gotten in the end of the game. Then the second game, we see the Ezreal just pop off. It was a very close game, I would say, until the first death at the second fight that happened around the bottom side of the map, which caused the lead to really just snowball for SUTD. And for NTU, however, we don't know what is going on yet. I still think they are in the middle of the remake right now. They might be looking to start the game soon. I'm not very sure of that. But same champion, same draft. I would still prefer TP's draft over NTU's draft as well.
Okay. The drafts, I feel that the team fights are the ones that would set up the game, really. Because you say the decisions that they make, the fights that they go for, those are the ones that they need to decide who can really win the game.
Yes, and they have already remade the lobby, so they will be going to the game pretty soon. But just to really talk about the team itself, we talk about how they want to do a team fight, the setup within the team fight. And both teams are very focused on to diving to the backline because they have the champion to focus on to the backline. So I'm really excited to see how they will play. And now we're back into the Rift. TP vs NTU, same draft, same champions, just no more Hex Flash.
Yep, that Hex Flash, I really think it was the Alistar.
And we can't really see the secondary runes from here, but I definitely think it was the Alistar because we don't really see which champion can use the Hex Flash. Maybe Xin Cao can use the Hex Flash, who knows?
You just surprise the person without vision, and oh look, instead they're going for the level 1 invade. This 2v3, they just go for early vision, get some early trades off, If the Karma was there, you can actually get some gold with that Spell Thief's Edge.
Indeed, but the Karma has to do his 5-point guard. This is the standard guarding system of how most teams will go because doing the 5-point guard actually just gives them information on whether enemies invading or not. And we know that they actually warded the red side of the NTU jungle, so that actually gives information on how NTU will start and gives TP information on how to play around things. So I don't think NTU will look to clear the ward, and it seems like Nuka is just walking to the lane, just trying to get the early lead in the mid lane. And now we see the same situation where and TP's bottom lane is actually still leashing for the jungle, and top side is still the same slot.
But like you said before, when the top side has that lead, it's kind of impossible to fight.
Indeed. So now, looking at the lane itself, it is still favored into NTU right now. It's slowly shoving in. NTU's playing the lane very well.
Yep. Once you have that level 2, you can start to apply pressure even more.
Yes. Small trades coming in from the Karma though. It kind of puts down the Ezreal into not a good position in terms of HP, but there's Alistar, right? Alistar every 7 minutes or 8 minutes to kill, that's from free HPs for you back.
Look at the trades. You go for the Karma and they go in again for the kill. They may even secure this with that poke that they have. Both of the bot laners of TP now are both nearly half health. Forced to use the potions actually.
Yeah, so this lane doesn't seem like it's going very well for the start of TP, but NTU definitely looking to get the lead they want, similar to the previous game. Maybe Xin Cao will maybe come over to the bottom side to actually get another cheese gang down, and the more gangs he can get, the more useful this Xin Cao will be.
Yep. Once you have those gangs secured and maybe even the top side, look, you get that stun off, you get those kills, you maybe even secure the kill right here with the Haymaker, but he forces the flash off the Volibear.
Yes, that was very crucial, and now with the Volibear flashless, it sets up more opportunities for Nocturne to go top side, and Xin Cao here being bottom side means that NTU is looking to play aggressive here.
Yeah, they are making TP push up, but it seems they know that the Xin Cao is there. So wasting this time and delaying it more for the Xin Cao is crucial for TP.
Yeah, but I think that NTU, they can actually opt in to play very...
here comes the flash! He goes in for the gap closer, but look at them, they just get out easily. It may secure one kill as the Ezreal goes in. Oh, he gets blocked by the minions!
I think he actually auto-attacked the creep instead of the jungle.
Oh my god, instead it's a first blood for TP! What are you doing, Xin Cao? You're not supposed to go in.
And look at Nocturne, he's just invading the top side of Xin Zhao jungle. That was so unfortunate coming in from Xin Zhao. He shouldn't have went in again. And top side, Suzuki, he is playing and put the volley very low. A dive
But
coming
Nocturne
in.
wants the gang, he wants the dive, he wants that kill. He's just proxying the wave right here.
I don't think this dive can happen because Volibear is preventing the wave from crashing in. And
Oh, he
hard
made...
DC, you shouldn't be here.
Oh, Samira actually gets a double on the bottom lane. We don't even know what happened there.
Samira just solo killed Ezreal and Alistar by
Oh.
himself.
And
And-
I think Victor's in trouble here. Maybe even forced to use the flash to get the kill, but Nuclear survives with a sliver of health and mana left and goes for the early back.
Everything NTU wanted to do is going wrong. The bottom lane is their focus point, but they're not doing anything bottom side because Ezreal and Alistar just lost 2v1.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen, but it is Samira, you know. It's one of those broken champs that you can just say, I lost because, you know, it's Samira.
Yeah, but I don't think Samira is that broken as of now. But definitely, if Samira snowballs very hard, it gets very difficult for Ezreal to play. But I would still favor Ezreal in the late game because of how much range he has.
Look at that poke. Oh my god, Nuker. You're doing a lot of damage, but I don't think it's enough. Here comes the full flash. That auto attack nearly kills Nuker there.
Both mid laners survive with a sliver of health, and that's very close coming from both Nuka as well as the lost one. But NTU right now, it seems like their only lane that is doing well right now is the mid lane. Top lane, however, is doing well for NTU though. Volibear is having the slight CS lead, although he was kind of shoved out the lane a bit by Nocturne and Set trying to dive top side.
Yep. Now you see Set. He has the two. He has the two ruby crystals. He should be able to survive the poke, to survive the damage that Volibear has.
Yeah, but Volibear, I think he will be rushing for the early Bramble Vest, but the early Bramble Vest actually, I'm not sure he will do the rush on
Oh,
top.
that haymaker, true damage. That armor won't help you from anything.
Yeah, and now look at Volibear, he is level 6, however, the wave is shoving into the south set, so they might look for a top lane dive. Maybe Volibear can even just kill Set by himself, it's up to him honestly, but
Ooh, nice shield.
right now Xin Zhao here, he's backing
Oh.
off.
He forces the Set into a fight and gets a good trade-off. Now they're both level 6. If he goes for a dive, this is going to be very crucial.
Yes. Oh, Set trying to bait the Volibear to walk forward so he
Yep.
can use his E, maybe flash back and then grab the Volibear into his turret. But Volibear didn't walk in front, so that was very smart coming in from the Volibear. And this is kind of what you want to see from how NTU want to play, because right now the bottom lane didn't do the job they needed to do to get the lead in the bottom side. So they're kind of behind a bit because double buff went over to the Karma and Samir gets a double kill by himself. So those are very big events that kind of turn the favor a little bit to TB. It's getting even faster than what we kind of expected.
Yeah, but look at the CS lead that Ezreal has already created. It's nearly 10, but that's roughly a kill, right?
Yeah, so he's still 1 kill and 1 assist down. So it's kind of still big of how NTU wants to play. But now look at Nocturne here. He's hovering to the bottom side. He's trying to get some EXP. I think he's going to reach level 6 soon.
Yeah,
So once he reaches 6, he's going to go for the dive.
Yup, and then it's lights out and away we go onto the bot lane dive.
Oh,
Yeah, he
look
reaches
here.
level 6. Soon he has to use the ult to get this kill maybe, or even just apply pressure onto the bottom side.
Yeah, I think NTU read the play. They actually stepped back the moment he reached level 6. I think it was warded somewhere, but it doesn't seem like it was warded on the bush though. So I think they have a hunch that he's somewhere in the bottom side and they want to be playing very safely until Nocturne shows himself around the map.
So once you have that information that Nocturne's not even on the map, it could mean that he's bottom lane.
Yeah, so right now Nocturne going back to clear his jungle, and Xin Zhao, he is about 4 camps behind the Nocturne right now, so he's trying to catch up in terms of EXP. And look at the items Xin Zhao's going. He's going to Serrated Dog. He is going for the Eclipse build that we commonly see more of the God Drinker or even the Frostfire or the tank build.
Yeah. Now I really like this vision setup that the set has already created on the top side. It gives that early warning, but you see Sing Tao's puffing towards bottom, so it sort of works, but it's just there, you know.
Yeah, but then one kind of spots out whether he kind of spot out whether Xin Zhao's at the top side of the jungle. Knowing that the camps are cleared in the top side means that the only probability that where Xin Zhao will be is the bottom side. So he is now allowed to play more aggressive in the top side. And looking at the two Ruby Crystals, I do think that Set can still go to the Strikebreaker build, but knowing Suzuki, he might go for a different unique tank build.
He misses the stun though, but I really like the sustain that he can have with these ruby crystals is really extraordinary.
Indeed, so the two Ruby Crystals gives him the... Have you actually seen this unique build by Set where he goes 0 resistance and his true damage does about 2.5k to 3k damage?
No, I think that's a bit broken as you see a bit of the trades and look at that Haymaker true damage again.
I have a feeling that Suzuki right now, he's going for this no resistance build and just looking to do maximum output of damage with 0 resistance. And now Suzuki, with the Set, he's just punching the top turret plating, and they'll give him 1 turret plate at least.
Yeah, but because you now allow the jungle to take that Herald, and also TP already secured the Dragon. So this shows that the TP jungler really knows how to use that jungle tempo to his advantage. Oh, they may contest this, he could just jump in, but he has the smite, I believe. He goes in. Red team steals the Herald actually. Then look, all 3 members go in. Set jumps into the back line. Not enough as Nuker comes in and secures the kill as this lights out. And the Volibear jumps in. It's not enough. He gets a 1-for-1. And then the silent one, the lost one just dies.
Yes, TP playing the fight topside very well and bottom line.
But bottom, look at it. The Samira just goes in. What can you do against that? You get that reset on that E, and then now you're just gonna die. That poke and that heal that Karma provides allows you to get that ace on the top and bottom as well.
10-minute ace coming from the side of TP. TP just showing us why they are one of the favorites to win this tournament right now. Lanes just winning all over the map.
Yeah, this really doesn't feel like a solo queue game anymore. It really feels that TP has that advantage against NTU. It feels like NTU is playing like a solo queue game.
Yeah, so TP, with the wins from the top side as well as the bottom side, have now cleared a 4.5k gold lead just through laning phase as well as through the team fights they've won. And it's not really a 5v5 team fight yet, it has been a 3v3 versus a 2v2, right? Bottom side, top side. So TP just shows how much better they are in terms of mechanical outplays as well as just how well they are in understanding how to set up the wave for the team.
Yeah, and because NTU still sold the Herald, they're gonna use it down mid. I feel that the mid tower tier 1 is the most important. You get three plates right here for the lost one, and now you're getting caught out by 2 people. And then you go for the flash. He uses a shockwave to try to save himself. Here comes the Alistar. It won't be enough. Tower taking a lot of damage here. You may get just for a 1-for-1, but you force the flash out of the Orianna, I believe.
Yes, now Alistar chasing after the Victor since I was just behind.
Yeah, but Karma is here, and then the stun could possibly get him. He goes in for the fight. There's a TP down here as well. That nice ulti from the Sing Cao pushes away everyone, but now Set is here. He is level 9. He has the level advantage. He goes into the back line. Now he goes for the Ezreal. What can Ezreal do? He can't Arcane Shield out, and look at that rune. Look at that true damage, and he's gone.
Yes, Suzuki with the teleport. TP's down to the bottom river and gets the assist of, I think it was an assist or kill, right? One of them onto his team. So TP definitely still winning the fights, although I feel that NTU was the one overchasing a bit. They should have just taken the 1-for-1 and back off. So TP is still getting a hit. And we look at the set round, he is a mid item up, but it's not the Strikebreaker that we expected. It's actually the Sunfire Aegis.
Yeah, and then wait, you look at the bottom side. Both of them actually have 7 kills in total. This is not something you want on the Karma or the Samira itself.
Yeah, so this bottom side again accelerated a bit. Maybe just because of mistakes coming from NTU. So TP, the AD carry has 3 kills, Karma with 4 kills. I'm pretty sure the Karma can actually back off to get his midding item. And with the Shurella, they can look to play even more aggressive because they have the trigger button with the Shurella passive.
Yeah, it's it's like a pseudo engage tool. You use it. You have basically a Severe's out in you, and then look at the mid lane. Now some easy trades going off for the thing as this lights out, and he just goes in, gets the kill. And then look at the top side. It really feels that he wants to go in for the kill, but he don't have the chase to really chase down the set there. As trades coming in, really love it. hasn't used the true damage of the Haymaker yet.
So now just through Darpling does fall down in 15
Ooh,
seconds. Alistar
look at
looking
this.
again.
Yeah, he pushes the Victor into the Singta, and that should be a... Oh, they both get stunned! But it won't be enough as Nuker goes down. Now they look for the kills on the top side.
Yes, Hard Easy managed to go over and take away the red buff.
Oh,
Bomb lane.
Flash goes in. I think that's a wasted Flash. You know, he gets the extra speed. Are you gonna fly in? That's the question, as you don't, and he just gets the kill, and you get to clear the wave if you're out.
TP showing up and showing us why they are one of the favorites again. I really just can't emphasize this because this is just very clean play coming from TP. Punishing Ezreal for overstepping, looking to top side and look to mid lane as well just to punish the Orianna for ever going for trades with the Victor, because Nocturne can always engage on you from a distance, so you need to be aware of where Nocturne is before you take the trades.
You need to know where the junglers are before you take those trades, you know. It's really scary how Nocturne can just jump at you from nowhere with that paranoia. And then look, now he goes for the invade, and he's 30 CS ahead of the Singtao. How many jungle camps is that?
That's about 7 jungle camps, and I think the Count was trying to steal the blue buff away from Orianna. Unfortunate that he wasn't able to pick it up. So kills aside and goal aside, NTU honestly they're not say super far behind. They are still better than the previous game where at 15 minutes it felt like it was a gone game, right? There's still some hope coming for NTU. But TP, if they don't make any mistakes, it should just be a snowball.
Yup. You know, maybe even the Victor actually picked up the Dark Steel. So really, with that assist and kills, it really shows that he can go far with that snowball lead.
So now TP looking to probably wait for the next dragon. This is an Ocean Soul game, so definitely one of the best souls to get. The other one being Mountain, and after that, the first dragon I feel is the most impactful, and now it's the Mountain Dragon because of the resistance it gives you as well as the shield. And
Look at that! He gets the fear off. He forces the TP. He may even just kill him before the TP comes in. Now Set just outs no one, and it's lights out, and away we go as he goes for the Alistar. Actually hasn't even used it yet. He goes behind actually for the Orianna. Now Orianna's gone. Now what do you do even for the bottom side?
That was very clever from Hard EC. He knows that his team was separated from the Orianna, so he goes to the Orianna instead of the 3 members of Volibear, Ezreal, and Alistar, and that was how Orianna gets caught. And we talked about how Hard EC is the focal point, right? Although Boblin did get the soul kills and the 2v2 kills in the bottom side, it is all about the man in the jungle, Hard EC. He is the pivot point of how TP plays, and if he plays well, the team plays well. If he don't play well, the team usually don't play that well. But right now he is performing. He is 5-2-1, way ahead of the enemy jungle and just destroying the jungle path, the jungle camps, and as well as the jungler himself of NTU.
And now both tier 1 towers have been destroyed for the likes of TP. They get them all down, and now they have a really near 10k gold lead.
10,000 gold lead, 17 minutes in the game. Seems like today's games are all relatively quick, don't you think so?
Yeah, they both actually just, you know, have a snowball, and then it's just one-sided already. Now, you look at the mythics that TP has, all of them already completed. So it's really hard to go against that when, you know, your top laner and your support don't actually have anything.
So now just looking at the map, they are posturing around the dragon. A dragon is spawning within a minute. So NTU, I think they don't have to contest with this. They can just give it away and probably look for the 4th dragon, because that would be the better time where they can actually fight. So right now they need to just focus on scaling. Until they get the items, they are then able to go into the jungle, the river, to contest for dragon. But as of now, the river as well as the jungle of the bottom side definitely belongs to the side of TP.
Yeah, you see, they're already here in the river, and they can just set up vision whenever they want. And now Singsa has a problem. He wants to get the Grom or the vision, as he is getting caught up by 3 members of TP right there. He's forced to use the flash, as look, they are chasing him down and he can't do much. He's forced to use his out there, and he will survive.
Yeah, so Singsa having to burn the flash, although having to burn the flash, he did live on, so that was actually good for the side of NTU. But
oh, the top lane, actually, Nuker takes a lot of damage from the Alistar, I believe, or Orianna, actually, both of them.
that was just unfortunate that they couldn't kill the Victor. But in the end, TP still managed to get the dragon, so 3rd dragon goes over top of TP. The next one will be the Soul.
This is the one that NTU needs to contest, right?
100% they have to contest this, because getting so early into the game actually brings in the Elder Dragon, right? And if you're not in the position to actually fight for the Elder Dragon, it's a 100% lose scenario for
Yeah.
you, right? So NTU, they just need to look to stabilize for the next 5 minutes. Maybe they just deny enemy Baron buff because that's the second win condition you have, taking Baron and just watching the game through all the side lanes. So NTU, I won't say they are out, but odds are looking very bad against them.
NTU can always contest that dragon or the Baron. Both spawning, I believe, relatively soon. The Baron spawning in a minute or so. And
So when you look at the game right now, you see that both teams, they are the team fight comp. But we have not seen a 5v5 team fight yet because just through the laning phase itself, both teams are able to get a lead. And look,
oh look, he just gets caught out. He's forced to use a flash. They go in for a dive. He gets the silenced off and out. Ooh, nice steal from the Nocturne there.
Nocturne was like, give it to me, I'm the carry, since take 2 kills away from Nuka. And look
Oh
at the jungle.
look, he gets caught out. Karma does get caught out though as the Volibear jumps in. Now they are on the pursuit. Hey, they have the TP and now look, TP is on the kill. They're hungry for blood out here, and they go for the Volibear. And next on the menu is Alistar and Orianna. One's metal and the other's meat. I think the beef is tasting nicer.
As the beef in Alistar did not get taken away. You don't have those juicy steak coming out from the Alistar. So NTU still survive for another day, but more kills going over the side of TP means that they are able to extend the lead even further. And TP just look like a very well-oiled machine right now. Although they give a few kills away, the way they're moving around the map is just very synchronized. And this is what you want from a team that is looking to compete for the top. You must be able to synchronize your macro decisions because that's the most important core of playing League of Legends in a competitive scene, is knowing how to use the macro.
Yeah, and look, now you have the Herald going down mid and you get that tier 2 tower. And now you really don't have a way to back off as NTU.
And you know, they just have to defend the bottom side of the map because they need to contest for the next dragon. If they don't ever contest, then the only option is to actually go flip for the Elder Dragon. And what are the odds that NTU can actually survive all the way to the Elder Dragon if they don't take the next dragon?
I don't really think the chances are really low. You know, especially when TP has this big of a lead, 10k in gold. It really feels that TP can just end the game right here and then.
Yeah, but TP is taking it slow because they know that they have a very methodical way of ending the game. So they just want to probably wait for the next Ocean Dragon, or they might even look to bait out the Baron and use the Baron as a way to force a fight, and from then they just end the game. That's also possible. But NT right now, they have 2 missions. First mission is to deny the Baron. Second mission is to contest for the Elder Dragon.
Yeah, both of that.
The Dragon Soul, I mean.
Yep, both of those are their win conditions and it's lights out. They go in for the Sing Zao right here. They're gonna use the TP on the top side. The Sing Zao's caught out. There's nothing you can run away from.
Unfortunate. And with the jungle down, this is definitely the call for Baron. Now you can see TP, they are running down to the Baron. Set is even walking all the way to the top side just to get the Baron. So this is just victory coming from inside of TP. And I don't see how NTU will come back from this because this Baron buff will still be in play when the dragon is spawning. So it'll be very difficult to fight 5v5 with the Baron buff up on them.
Yep. Especially now that your jungler is dead, there's no way you can contest this. There's no vision, no nothing. Nothing you can really do. As you look at bottom lane, they're both trying to get the set here, but he still has his Haymaker in play. He uses it. Ooh, that true damage! Look at it. He gets the kill onto the He gets the kill onto the Orianna right there, and now he may even look for more for the Volibear.
Just go for the solo kill, Suzuki. You know you can do it. And he's not going for the zero resistance build, but he is going for that true tank set just to absorb all the pressure at the side lanes.
Now when you have that Haymaker, you can just change that team fight with a click of a button. You go in for the fight, you pop that out, boom, you get another star. Now you may look for more. You get that poke onto the Sing Zao, you want to die, do you? Look at that. He just flashes in, gets the kill on Sing Zao. This means the end for NTU actually.
Yes.
What can the Ezreal do?
Nuko just flashing onto the Xin Zhao, not giving a damn about what's happening around the map because he knows he can walk up there and just.
Oh,
get
Volley
on it.
may actually
Look at
find
Volley.
it. He doesn't go in. He knows, he respects the amount of players that TP has there. They don't want to contest that. Now instead he gets caught on his own and he goes down. And because of the shield, it allows the Victor to go in and get the kill. Now True Shot Barrage misses by a long shot there. And TP gets all your tier 1, nearly all your tier 3, all your inhib towers gone.
Yes, and TP right now, they are just playing with your foot, right?
Mhm.
That was definitely a situation where they could have forced and then just go for the end. But Nuka is like, I'm just eating bear meat for dinner today, right? Because he just killed the bear with no signs of remorse. There was no empathy for the bear he was just about to kill. The bear is 0-3.
There's nothing you can do. You know, there's no. It's not a day when you have your support actually has a bigger bounty than your mid laner.
And when you look at, that's not even the bounties of the spot, you look at the entirety of TP, everybody has a bounty, right?
Yeah.
And the game is gone to a point where all the players in TP are just way too strong right now. And with the Ocean Soul, right? I don't see how NTU can come back.
It's like a portable base. You know, you just heal, 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 like you won't die.
Yeah. So looking at this game, I do think there is no way coming back for NTU. But if, right, there's always an if, right? If TP says they want to play the foot a little bit more, and then maybe NTU get a good shutdown of all the members, who knows? Maybe Oriana is able to pull off the 5-man shockwave, or maybe the Volibear can just get into the backline, just slam onto the Samira, or even the Oriana, or even the Nocturne, and there's a combo with the Alistar and Xin Zhao as well as the Oriana as well. That will definitely be a possibility that they can still fight for the Elder Dragon, but looking at it, I don't think it's possible.
No, but look at Oriana. She's completed the Rabadon's death cap already. You know, this item has a 63% win rate for some reason, because it boosts your AP so much that you know they can use it to turn a fight.
Yes, so with this 63% win rate, magic item, I think the odds of NTU winning this has risen to 63%.
Hopefully they can win.
Hopefully he's part of the 63% that can win the game, and if not, the unfortunate, not the unfortunate 37%.
Yeah. Now, especially when you're this back, and look, the lights out, you go in for that solo kill onto that Volibear, forces him to use the out, and now both of your two members of the TP is caught out on the top side. Look at that, he pushes him, but he uses the out to get out. The true damage just cuts Volibear's health in half, and look, your true shock barrage just gets blocked by Samira. Samira goes in, he gets a 2, he goes for a double kill, gets a Quadra
Is it
kill.
the penta kill again?
It could be, he gets a Quadra. Who stole the Penta?
Oh,
it's a penta!
Kill! And TP is just saying we are better than SUTD and show that they can get another pentakill by themselves. And TP looks to end NCU's first game of the tournament with a loss, going 2-0 up, keeping up the pressure with NYP, going into victory.
Yeah, this vinyl kill, you get 2 pentas in a day. That's not something you would usually see.
Yeah, so this week has been very intense because 2 pentas in 3 games. This is such an amazing gameplay coming in from both sides. But this game is really just about how TP is able to win the 2v2 bottom by themselves. And from the 2v2 bottom, the other side of the map just have to win their own lane. And that from there just snowballs on to victory.
Once you have that bottom lane prio and that snowball lead, you just snowball the game from there.
There's really just no way there for NTU to come back because they messed up the early game bottom. They gave the double buff over, and then Ezreal and Alistar just dies to Samira 2v1. And that was the end of the bottom lane. And then top lane just started to lose by themselves with the mid lane as well. And after that, Hard EC with the Nocturne started to just gets the kill everywhere he goes. And from then on, it was just a very difficult road to come back.
Yeah, out of the 2 pentakill games, you know, it's all happened because of the bottom lane. The both AD carriers get those pentakills. I think it's because you fed them too early, you know. Once Samira and Ezreal build up those items, it's kind of impossible to go against them.
Yeah, so we've seen the pentakill from Lonely Soul from SUTD. We see the pentakill coming in from Ashton F from TP. And since these two teams have played each other already and it was in favor of TP, I'm excited to see how NYP, the next strong competitor in the group, go against these two teams because can these AD carries repeat the performance against NYP, who has much better players in general?
I think NYP maybe this year might not be the champion. Who knows? Really, TP or SUTD, I think can come out really strong in this season. Yeah.
Yeah, so NYP definitely wants to try and compete, but whether they can compete or not is because it depends on whether they are able to overcome the 2 closest competitors right now in Group B, which are SUTD as well as Temasek Polytechnic. But before we even go over to the quarterfinals as well, even the finals, talk about who wins as well, you just have to make sure that
whether NYP can slowly go over to the top of Group B and qualify as the first place in Group B.
Once you qualify that, you go on to the quarterfinals and you go on to that knockout stage. There's no more losers bracket anymore, I believe. So it should be a pretty interesting knockout.
Yeah, so before we even talk about all these knockout stages, it's just only week 2. There's still 7 more weeks left to go, 5 more weeks left to go before the qualifiers of the quarterfinals as well as the semifinals and the finals. So each team right now, those with the 0-2s, they need to start thinking about how they can claw back their wins. And then those with the 1-1s, it will be a tight race to the end, but there is still hope for those with the 1-1. But the 0-2s, the time is clicking a little bit because if you don't get a win within the next week, I don't see the option. I don't see a way for you to ever claw back into this tournament.
Yeah, once they have those wins, it will be, an underdog kind of thing. You have the 0-2, you suddenly beat against NYP, TP, that kind of thing, and then suddenly those teams are not in the top echelon of the group anymore.
Indeed. So right now, as we end off Game 3 with Temasek Polytechnic being the victor, we'll now pass it back over to we'll pass it back to the host a little bit later to talk about the winners of the giveaways as well. So before we even talk about the games, let's look at the final brackets of the day for week 2. We see NYP as well as Temasek Polytechnic, I think, at the top of the group for Group B. SUTD and NUS a close second behind with 1-1. And for NTU, Murdoch, and ITECE, they are the ones with the 0-1 and 0-2. So for these teams, they really need to start thinking about how they want to get into the next groove, because if they don't start winning any games, it'll be more difficult for them to go on into the tournament. And for Group A, SP and SIM leading the group with 2 zeros, followed by RP, NP, SMU, and ITECC. And ITEC, College West, as well as Kaplan, they are the bottom 2 of the group. So SIM, the favorites in Group A, I feel, because they have so many players that are very known for their abilities. So they are honestly expected to take over the Group A. So SP a close second. SP just a very... they have been very close, right? Last week we saw them play, and they did perform very well early in their first game. They kind of take over the game over SMU. So Group A really seems to be a very close match.
I'd like to talk about ITCC. Being from Central, I like how they came out with a win this week.
Indeed.
So, they put themselves in a spot that we may even see them in the top 8.
Yeah, I think that for Group A, the two top 2 is kind of expected. We see SP and SIM, but the remainder 4 of them, RP, NP, SMU, and ITE College Central, which of them is able to take the last 2 spots depends on how well they will be able to play for the next coming weeks. But for Group B, it seems like it's much more of a closer battle, because it's much more of an open battle, because the top 2 is definitely NYP and TP. But whether anyone can take the 2 spots away from SUTD or NUS depends on whether the 3 remaining teams in the group is able to compete for any of the games.
I think it's almost time we can transfer it back to the host. I think it's been a good day. I'm Gopsty. You can find me on Twitter.
And I'm Raiko. I'm not really at Twitter yet, but one day I'll be there.
Yep. So,
we will now be passing it back to the host, I believe.
yep. Jolin Pop, take it away.
Hi guys, welcome back, and yes, this is Jolie Pop. So we have a few very exciting matches that we have seen previously. There's 2 pentakills. It was pretty amazing for out of like a 3 games, right? So I guess this is the moment you guys are waiting for, the giveaway portion. The giveaway for the Lenovo gaming bundle of KM300 gaming keyboard as well as a mouse. Yep, do we have the winners up already? Alright, so I think if that's the case, right, the winners are not out yet. So I'm gonna just like briefly talk about today's games, right? Like there are 3 games that's happening today, and I think like there are a lot of things. I'm gonna read the comments a bit also. Let's see, like a lot of people are commenting and talking about like the games and stuff, right? Also, right, the giveaway, like I just now mentioned about the rules of the giveaway, right? It's actually to comment who you think will win and also why you think they win, plus hashtag Legion. I've been scrolling at the comments and I realized like all of you guys are only commenting like your favorite institutions and not the reason why you think they'll win. So I guess it's for the next week because now we already closed the predictions for the day. So next week onwards, remember guys, okay, you have to comment which team you think will win. Number 1, remember. Number 2, why do you think they'll win? Why? Then the third thing is the hashtag, because I think nobody has been commenting about like why. So yep, remember to comment these few things. And of course, congratulations to the winning institutions today. And of course, we do have more matches coming up next week. Right, we have the winners up ready. So let's announce the winners for the Lenovo gaming keyboard and mouse. Who's that? That's Milky's. Milky's0822. Congratulations for winning this. Just in case you're wondering what you win, this is actually the KM300 RGB gaming combo from Lenovo. You'll win a keyboard as well as a mouse. So this is the whole set. Congratulations. So for those that didn't win, right, don't worry. You can always come by again for all our streams. We actually have random giveaway that we'll be giving out. And of course, thank you so much. A big shout out to our sponsors, Lenovo Legion, as well as Uniqlo for the beautiful shirt to make Jolene Pop look smart, as well as Murdoch and Kaplan and Murdoch University for being our academic sponsors, as well as tomorrow, remember, we will have our Campus Legend Week 2 Mobile Legends Bang Bang game tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow, and I will sign off here. Jolene Pop. Bye bye.